Kalau falava, kalau inoa Lance Williams, o te sau mai le nuu a salo fata, upolu, o te alofa tele atu le atua me le ainga.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to MLR Mic Check. I'm Dani Wexelman here with Utah Warriors Lance Williams. Lance, my friend, so good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dani. Thanks for having me. Always
Absolutely.
good to see you. Yeah.
It is always so good to see you. And I want to start going back in the time machine, Lance. You were born in Hawaii, but raised in Western Samoa. I'm hoping you could paint me a picture of what you remember from your time growing up there.
Like you said, I was born in Hawaii, so I couldn't. So my parents they didn't worry about the green card and everything. So I was born in Hawaii, and then I moved to Samoa when I was about me and my younger brother. So I was about 8 years old, and then he was 5. Yeah, so we're 3 years apart. So me and my younger brother, we're the only two in like all of my siblings that were raised in Samoa with my grandparents. So my parents stayed back, so it was just me and my younger brother. We grew up in Upolu. So Upolu is one of the islands, the western islands of Samoa. Known as Western Samoa, and then you have American Samoa is Pango Pango. So me and my brother and my grandparents, they raised us in Western Samoa. Upolu is the island, and then the village is called Salofata. So we raised in Salofata, but we went to a private school called Malisi. So it's in the English word is Maris. So it was an all boys school. It's a private school. So we went there for about what 3 years, 4 years. Learned the language, learned the culture. Everything was like so beautiful, and so yeah. Other than that, we grew up on the islands, grew up around our culture. Our grandparents taught us very, very, lifestyle lessons and stuff like that. So it was beautiful. It was kind of like one of the things that I'll keep in my childhood of being raised around my culture and being involved with my grandparents and stuff and around, just the main points of the culture that we grew up in, stuff like that. So everything was beautiful there. We learned how to cook, we learned how to fish, we learned how to, everything, and just our chores and how to do, be respectful and all our manners around stuff, and just learn about so much about the culture. So I'm really grateful for that, and for my grandparents as well too.
The passion is so obvious in your voice, and I know that anybody who talks about you speaks about this passion and pride that you have, and that also comes through when you're playing the sport. So I want to know, when did you pick up a rugby ball and when did you fall in love with it?
It would be funny with this one. So in Samoa, I didn't really play rugby. So I just kind of picked up the ball and just like, we played with our friends and we played a little bit of tackle, but I didn't play organized rugby there. So it was just for fun, and it was just like tackling, a lot of the young generation, like we just, just run around with, no slippers, just barefoot, just going around and, just tackling each other. But growing up in Samoa was kind of like it was I wasn't, because at the age of my age, I kind of wasn't into sports until high school. But high school, I was or middle school, high school, I kind of grew up in Hawaii. So I moved to Hawaii when I was about 13 and 14 age, and that's when I started picking up the sports of everything of sports, the concept of sports. But in Samoa, I was just a young fella. I didn't play any organized rugby. I was just picking up the ball, running, just playing around with friends and stuff like that. So my grandparents wasn't really into the sport yet. They just wanted to let me get used to the culture, get used to doing fe'aos. Fe'ao means chores in Samoa. So doing chores in Samoa, taking care of the house, what needs to be done around the house, going church on Sunday, Sunday school every Sunday. Like, they praise on Sunday school. So we like every Sunday we do nothing, just go to church, cook up a big feed. We call the umu. So we growing up in Samoa, wasn't really into the sport yet, but is more into picking up the culture and knowing where I come from, or knowing where we come from and our family and how we were raised and stuff like that. So kind of like the lifestyle of my childhood. But picking up a rugby ball, I first picked up the rugby ball in Hawaii. So it's actually in Hawaii. I first picked up a rugby ball. It was my sophomore year in high school. Didn't really know the game. I kind of knew like the physicality. I was just kind of like an athlete. I was an athlete around, but because my first sport was actually basketball. Because you can actually talk to my family, it was actually basketball. But I love basketball and like, but the height didn't really require for an island kid like me because I played a low post. So I was playing the center, I was playing power forward, but my height was never gonna get me into college or the NBA. There's no way. So that's when I dived into football and rugby. But rugby in Hawaii also wasn't well known, so it was just organized, kind of like the clubs here. Slowly building up the sport at the time, because rugby wasn't really well known. As of now, today it's like so well known. So back in Hawaii, it was just slightly organized, but wasn't really organized here as now as professionally of like how you want to train to become a professional rugby player. So back then, when I played, it was just like athlete freak. This guy's a football player, basketball player. He needs to be on the pitch. Boom. Kept me out of trouble, kept me out of, where I grew up in Kalihi, kept me out of trouble and kept me out of the gang situation, stuff like that. But just to keep me busy, keep me active. My parents always so my parents was the one into sports. So when I moved to Hawaii, that's when they're like, yep, you playing sports, it's all right. Well, the chores will take care. And then that's when I picked up a first rugby ball when I was in high school, sophomore. And then I loved it. I fell in love after that. Continue to play the sport and continue to play football also. And so that's when rugby was kind of like because in Hawaii, like football is just, that's your plan A, So Hawaii was kind of football as a plan A because at that time, my mindset wasn't as if I chose rugby, like, I don't know, is it really gonna help me support my family? Or, at the time, football was the main priority. Like that's where all the money is at. That's where you're gonna go first, and that's what we're gonna, that's the pathway we're gonna choose. If not, then we'll go to Plan B. And that my Plan B was rugby. Was always rugby. So kind of went through the football stage. Didn't really happen. So that's when I turned my pathway to rugby, and then it was just true blessing that I moved to Utah and I'm here with two Utah Warriors, and it's been great experience. It's been a great experience.
And Lance, the audience here in the United States just continues to grow year after year. The fan bases are exponentially becoming bigger and bigger for obvious reasons. Everyone is falling in love with the sport here in the United States, but not everyone might be familiar with the Samoan culture, where you're from, who your family is. Tell us about your family. Tell us about the culture.
Hard work. Hard work is kind of one of them is up there. Hard work. One of the words that my grandfather that I remember that that it was well known as this word is, humbleness. Always stay humble, but also work hard for what you want. So like everything I do and throughout, even like if it's just to come to meeting new people or you know trying to put a jersey on getting a starting spot on the Warriors is always hard work. Everything is a grind. So nothing was you will have struggles in your life too, but there's some people they'll give you a platform there, but other than that, it's just always hard work. So you put in hard work, stay humble, and everything is about love. Like everything is about love and respect. Respect your elders and stuff like that, and always trust in yourself, believe in yourself. But everything comes from hard work.
You work so hard on the pitch, Lance, but you work so hard off of it. You are a preschool special needs teacher, and I'm hoping you can kind of share why that work is so important to you.
Life isn't fair. So like with those, every time I go to work and I see my kids, I see my students, it wasn't their choice to become a special need child, or deep down inside they probably have something they really love to do. Like as a me, I love to play rugby. I love food, and it's this everything is like you wanna do something in your life and everything. And these kids, they don't have the chance to do that, but to give back and just to show them that somebody cares for them, or other people, like they care for them. Like there's possibility that it can happen, and like some people they don't have the opportunity to live past their age, a certain age, because of their sickness and stuff. So just enjoying life, giving them happiness, nothing negative and anything like that, but always giving them positive happiness and love, and show that somebody really is there to care for them and what they really think that they want to achieve. And even if it's just getting a high school diploma, or something like that, or just getting their driver's license or their IDs, something with their picture on it. If we can get them to just reach a certain goal, or just even like getting past like a test or something like that, that I can live for, until I die or something like that. But it's everything is, life isn't fair, but when things happen like this, we can always get back. For us, that we take nothing for granted. We just want to give and give and give, because we're the ones that we're trying to live our dreams. So we're living our dreams. So we'll try our best to give back, and always give back to it, so they can live their dreams as well too.
How did you decide that this is something that you wanted to put your time and effort to, that you wanted to help
Mm.
and be a part of these children's lives? How did that all happen?
Oh, first, like, I love kids, man. I love kids. They're so interesting, especially the age that I work with, the 3 and 4 year olds. It's so funny. So like, um, I told my counselor when I went into my freshman year in the University of Hawaii. I told my counselor, like, oh, this is what I want to do. I love kids. I love working with kids. So I either wanted to become a teacher or a high school counselor at the end, when everything is done and rugby stuff is done. So she's like, okay, cool. We'll go into special education. And like, and she asked me what kind of age you want. I was like, young age. So for like 3 to 5 year olds. Like, okay, cool. So I got my degree in special education and minor in sociology, and then human resources. So after I got my degree, when they're coming in from getting this day started, I would ask them questions, like just random questions, like hard questions, like who's the president of the United States? And they'll give me like a weird answer, like, Elmo, or Godzilla. They would just yell at anything and be like, oh, perfect. Yeah, go in, come in. How are you doing? And then, I give them a choice if they want a handshake, a hug, or a fist bump. You know what I mean? So like, I have different kind of materials that I could use, but the way their mind thinks is so like off the chart. Like, you wouldn't even think like, that's so cute. This is the reason why, like, you're gonna make me stay. Okay, cool. Like, there's times, there's hard days. I promise you, there's hard days, but there's days where you just like, where they solve a problem by themselves. It's so amazing. So like, things like that, like when they problem solve, and or they counting all the way to 10, or like matching certain numbers, that the goals that they can't really, you don't really think they can. It's so amazing. That's what makes me coming back every year to help them out. So it's been a good journey.
What do you
Yes.
think is the biggest misconception about the children you teach that you can break here and tell us now?
It takes a lot of patience. A lot of people um think like, because some people, they think like, they have a short fuse. Like, patience is a big virtue. Like, it's a big word for me. So like, there's times that where you know they might not have a good day. There might days where they struggle last night, or struggle sleep, or their sickness, in kind of, what you call that word, disrupt their learning. So like, it takes a lot of patience, because they might, at days that they might not even reach a certain goal, or they just might, behavior might just come into a problem, and just kind of ruins the whole classroom for the first, like, the whole hour of the 3 hours that we have to work. And it's frustrating at times, but it's it's that time where like that's where it's hard. That's where that section of becoming a teacher is kind of, it's really really hard, but it's also, you kind of learn that in college and throughout, where you developed in how you learn to work with kids. And that's how I talk to other staff and other teachers, like, oh, how would you work with this child if this child is like being like bad behavior throughout the classroom, and they'll give you tips. And then like teachers been working there for years, and some of those tools that will really help you out. But patience is a very very big key in this in this subject right now. So,
And last one, what are your
yeah.
kids think that you do when you leave school and do your job on the field? What do they think that you do?
So I don't know if you saw, but I invited one of my kids on the home game, so on the Houston game. So his name was Corbin. So I bought him. So Corbin was one of my first students that I ever. So when I first taught in Utah, he was my first student, and he stayed with me throughout my 3 years. And so next year he's going to kindergarten. So I wanted to bring him to a game. So when I brought him to a game, like he was shocked to see me. Like he was shocked to see me. Like, whoa, where's our classroom? Like, where's? And he's just seeing big boys just hitting each other, rugby balls, fireworks going, crowd yelling, and he was so shocked. But like when I come, like, so there's certain days when I come from the weekend on a Monday or Tuesday, I was like, oh, Mr. Lance, what happened to your eye? Oh, Mr. Lance, what happened to your knee? Like, I just tell him, oh, I got into a fight. And I was like, you need help, Mr. Lance? Like something too, but I tease them a lot. But they know that I play. So there's a book called R's for Rugby, and it was I purchased that book and I read it to my students, and it was a beautiful beautiful book. So it's a long book, but we go certain alphabets, like maybe four alphabets. 4 letters, I'm sorry, 4 letters a day, and then we just go out throughout the book. So we're almost done with the book, but that's when I tell them this is what I do on the weekend, and I just read the book throughout it, and it's so cool. So
I love hearing
yeah.
that. The Warriors are 4-4 this season, fourth in the
Mhm.
standings overall, third in the Western Conference. Last weekend, you all played LA at
Mhm.
SoFi, and it's $5 billion
Yeah,
stadium. Lance,
yeah.
what did you think? What was that like?
Beautiful experience. Just hats off to those guys, behind the scenes of the MLR to making this happen for our players. And I'm just saying, it's a beautiful, true blessings. Like nobody else can say that they played in the NFL stadium. Like even if the NFL players, they can't even say that they played a game, like a professional game in that stadium. So hats off to all the MLR guys behind the scenes for making this happen for us. But it was just a beautiful experience just to see crowds, just the atmosphere was just so amazing. The shout out to LA and giving us a wonderful host and their fans there. We had a couple fans too there, so it was a great experience, man. The field there was the speakers, the live music. I even like it took me back to my college days. You know what I mean? So it was just like playing in the big stage with the big boys. One at that time that week was 1 versus 2. So it was crazy. So it was such a beautiful experience. So it was awesome.
And Lance, upcoming, you all have NOLA Gold on Saturday,
Mhm.
and they're sixth overall in the
Mhm.
standings, but they're also third in the Eastern Conference. I want you to put on your reporter hat. And if you're writing the game preview, what can we expect to see from the match coming up this weekend between you two?
Yeah. It's gonna be a close match. It's gonna be down to the wire. It won't be a game where one of each is gonna dominate each other. So it won't be like a blowout game, I should say. But it's gonna go down to maybe the 78, the 78, 75, 78 minutes. So it's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be like a roller coaster, but it's just gonna be like which team will make the less mistakes, um, getting their set pieces right, making their and taking care of their own roles and stuff like that. So it'll come to the wire. It's going to be a good game, but it's going to come down to who wants it more. So it's going to be a good one.
You nailed that. You crushed that. You can
Yeah.
absolutely take my job any day, Lance.
Nah.
I'm glad you brought up, though, that it won't be a blowout, because
Yeah.
you all have played some really close matches this season. You've been on both
Mhm.
ends, the winning and the losing end of that. What does that
Yes.
speak to, that not only your team, but the entire league, these matches have been ridiculously close? They all
Yeah.
are coming down to
Yeah.
the wire. What does that say to
Yeah.
you?
Like, man, it's everybody's you like the MLR league is, you may never know who's gonna show up, you know. So it might be here, or, you know, it's a roller coaster, but every week you gotta bring your A game. So it's like there's certain teams that's after you. There's certain teams that want to, you know, come home, or certain teams that are good at home, certain teams that are good at, you know, traveling and stuff like that. But it's like the week of when we played DC, though, that right there was, everybody was like lost by one, lost by two, lost by a try, lost by three. So it's, you may never, and when it's getting close to the playoffs, that's when we'll show like who's the dominant team, and like who it's like the championship moments, like making the big plays, the big moments at the right time, you know. So it's this league is gonna be coming down to the wire, so it's gonna be nice.
What do you think is the X factor for the Utah Warriors?
Staying in the fight, finishing, consistency, taking care of the pill, you know, taking care of the ball and stuff like that. So, and it's just what do you call that? Strengthening our weaknesses, like our weaknesses. We just got to work on those on practices. Just a little things, you know. It's some while watching the film throughout the season, it's been a roller coaster, like 4-4. So like our record is 4-4. So we just got to take care of the little things. Like the little things is just like that's what's hurting us, and we're just hurting ourselves too as well. And throughout the, you know, watching the film and stuff like that. So we just got to take care of the little things, and let the pieces fall. So
Roller coaster season,
yeah.
Lance, and that means that a lot of teams have faced different kinds of adversity. And
Mm-hmm.
in May, Major League Rugby created a campaign. It's called Mental Fitness. I love it. I'm a
Yes.
huge fan of it. We've been talking about it all
Mm-hmm.
month with all the guys, and I know you guys have been doing the same as well. For
Yeah.
you, dealing with those adversities and working your way through those close losses or those close wins, how do
Mm-hmm.
you personally work on your mental fitness?
The mental fitness, that subject right there is also big to me. So like a lot of people think that just because we're playing this sport, just because we're professional athletes, doesn't mean that, you know, the other side of that athlete, that we're doing super good just because, you know, living the life, and you know, playing the sport that we love, living the dream, doesn't mean that, you know, we have other struggles in life. But the atmosphere around the boys that we have, or just family and friends that, you know, that are away, that we can't be with and stuff like that. um being around the boys helps me, you know, just remember uh family, that, you know, because there's certain boys here that remind me of back home in Hawaii. So that keeps me going, you know what I mean? And so, and here and there, I'll call my grandma, call my dad, even friends, and my sister. So I'm really close to my sister. She's playing volleyball right now, but me and her are kind of the competitiveness in the family. So I always call her and see like, oh, we lost this game. Oh, we won this game, you know, but we always talk about how we did and how we performed and stuff like that. So we'll make certain small deals. If, you know, I'll score a try, you give me $100 and stuff like that, you know, just small little deals. But the boys are the ones that help me throughout, because these guys are, you know, I'm stuck with these guys for 6 months, you know, but it's a journey. That's how it is, you know. So you might have your ups and downs, but these boys will be the one in your circle to go and battle with and stuff like that. But they'll also help you throughout, you know, just checking in with them and see how you're doing, not just in rugby or in, you know, the professional life, but also, you know, you know, how's the love life and stuff like that. Like how's everything going around with the family? How you doing? You know, how you taking care of your body and stuff like that. So everything is around the boys. So the boys will always be there. So
I always think it's really important that we share the stories of who you are as a
Mhm.
person, not just what your job description says that you do.
Yeah.
So I definitely resonate really hard with that. And a
Yes.
lot of the guys, that has been one of the top answers, is just the teammates that you have, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I think that rugby is so special in that way. I think it's kind of next level as far as the men who play this game and the
Yes.
character that you all have. I think it's in a planet of your
Yes.
own, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's got to be super helpful to
Yeah.
work on your mental fitness. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you shared that with me. Are you ready for some bonus points?
I'll try my best.
One food from Hawaii that you would take and make into a food truck and bring to Utah.
That's a hard one. Because there's I'm gonna have to go with the oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Dani. There's a lot. Um, I'm gonna say the pork luau. So it's kind of like a, you know, banana leaf, baked with pork and with coconut milk and stuff like that. So probably a pork luau.
Describe your team to me in 3 words.
Let's go with um, funny, right? Definitely funny. Um, uh, yeah, hungry. They're always hungry. And let's go with uh, gosh, competitive. They're very competitive. Yeah. So those 3.
You did a
Yeah.
great job. Who's the hungriest teammate that you have?
Tuvele. Automatic Tuvele. Yeah. That Vinokoto, he's always eating, man. So like before the game, after the post game, my man, he's the first one he's eating all the time.
For you, if you're going to eat dinner, which
Yes.
celebrity or athlete, past or present, who you would eat dinner with?
I'll probably choose Alessandro Tuilangi, sorry, Alessandro Tuilangi, because I know that guy could cook too, because I know we both can cook, so we learn from the same culture. So Alessandro Tuilangi, and yeah, celebrity too. I would yeah. I would probably go with Dwayne Johnson. Thought I would see him at the LA game, but he wasn't there, so it's all right. It's all right.
Your favorite off day activity?
I love to eat sushi. I love to eat sushi. That's one of them I love to eat. We have a pool here. I like to chill at the pool, chill in the hot tub, get a recovery in. And then other than that, I love movies. I love movies. I love to watch movies, cheat day, and get some popcorn, some Oreos with milk and stuff like that. But just relaxing, relaxing.
Which actor would play you in the movie of your life? It would be The Rock?
Probably be The Rock. Or I'm trying to think of a Hawaii actor that's very. I would say Adam Sandler. You ever watch 50 First Dates?
Of course,
Man, yeah. If that guy could like learn pidgin and like the slang that goes up, he will be the perfect guy. Perfect
All right.
guy. So
what about the team that you're most looking forward to facing again this
again,
second half of the season?
Probably Seattle. Yeah, Seattle, and probably this one was that's one of the teams that we kind of want to get back to it. So they're kind of leaving a little bad taste in our mouth in our last home game, or our home game when they came down. So Seattle will probably be one of them.
What's one thing about Mikey only you can tell me?
Let's see. He's a bad driver. Bad driver. Yeah.
You're just throwing all your teammates under the bus here on MLR Mic Check. This is an easy one. What is your favorite part about playing for Utah?
Fans. It has to be the fans. I love the fans, the atmosphere here. The setup here, Zions Bank Stadium. Oh, it's beautiful. Have you came to one of the games here? So like as you can, I will let you come in and see a game. So playing here, behind the stadium, there's beautiful mountains. Like if you play in the daytime or in like the mid afternoons, there's beautiful mountains that just we're like right on the edge of Harriman. Just looking out the stadium, you can see the mountains and stuff. But other than that, the fans here, like loyal, loving fans, stuff. So it's beautiful. The atmosphere here is great. So that's one thing that I love about playing here in Utah.
I cannot even thank you enough for sharing with me
Easy.
today, sharing your family, your stories, your day job, your life, all of the above. I really appreciate you. I want to wish you luck this weekend, dude.
Thank you.
And I know you guys are going to be on your A game, and thank you again so much for hanging out with me today.
Awesome. Thank you, Dani. Always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.